American people and just the citizens overall.
Yeah, what he said. What up, good people? Welcome to the Grayscale Podcast. I'm Tim.
And I'm Ray. Welcome to the grayscale where it's not always black and white.
Man, but it's always something.
It's always something. Hey, we live, baby. As
We
you
are.
can see, we masked up.
We're actually live today for the first time on multiple platforms at the same damn time.
You heard? I don't trust you, man. Same time,
Same
same
time.
time.
True that.
True that.
Same
But
time.
as you
I'm
can
just going to
see,
make sure. Yep, that's
okay,
working. Cool.
because I ain't been. Oh, there we go. I see us now, baby. We are
Yep,
live.
we good there?
Man, what's up with this copy link thing, man? They won't let me
I don't know,
create
man.
a
I don't know.
Facebook acting real funny here lately with the creator what you call it?
What am I
A
looking
watch
for?
party. So anyway, as you can see, we starting this show off wearing our masks today. We just want to show you where we stand at in the
I got this
mask
really cool
debate.
floral one.
It looks beautiful. You
Yeah,
gorgeous, man.
I
You
got
so
my
pretty.
flowers. Somebody got me flowers.
You so pretty. Who
Yeah.
did that for you? Like you got a secret admirer out
No,
there.
some lady at the protest, the march that I went to in Defuniak was giving them away.
Oh yeah,
And so I didn't steal it. She gave it to me. Yeah.
nice.
So
Theft is bad.
yeah, I mean, because I didn't want to steal anything from her. But, it is what it is, right?
Facts.
So what's up, man?
Man, it's a whole.
How's your week?
Man, my week was very
It's
good
been
and
a whole
productive.
7 days
Hey,
since I've seen you last.
I know, right? It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Man, I didn't get to the gym as
all-
much as I wanted
Bro,
to
I'm
this week.
already sweating in this thing.
What
This
are you
mask.
doing?
I'm already sweating in this mask.
Come
I
on,
know why
bro.
people don't want to wear them
Hey,
now.
look, no,
I
it's
get
only,
it.
hey, you
I
gotta
get
do
it.
what you gotta do to
Yeah.
protect the
I'm gonna
people.
protect my
It, it
microphone.
it does make it a little tough to breathe sometimes, but I wear it indoors, but I
Yeah.
take it off when I come out, so I get that fresh air back up in me. Uh, but my week was good, man. I didn't get to the gym in that many days this week. I was kind of having a little low period a little bit. So then Thursday came around, I was like, you keep giving yourself these negative affirmations of, oh, it's just one day. Oh, it's just, and then I'm like, take your ass to the gym. So I got up
Do
Thursday
it.
morning, got back on my grind, man. Then did my Friday run, so it was good. I did have something funny that happened at work this week, though. Oh, funny to me anyway. Maybe y'all will find it funny. But I'm in one of my stores, and a lady comes up, and is like, "You're a man, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure. No, I'm just in disguise today." But she was asking me about jock itch, and she's like, "Yeah, my husband has this jock itch, and I was just wondering if I could use this feet fungus itch for it, and if it would work the same." And I'm like, she's like, "You play sports, right?" I'm like,
She
"Yeah, I
trying to
play
put some
sports."
what was some tough acting
Some tough
acting on that.
John Madden.
She
Tough
tried to do some
acting
John Madden.
Hey, but I'm like, look,
That's what
yeah,
the mask is for right there. You
on
want
the
to go.
real. I'm like, look, yeah, I play sports, but I never had jock itch, ma'am. So I really can't help you there. So I guess she goes back and reads the label, and she's like, well, it said it would work the same for it, so I'm just gonna get this. It's like $10 cheaper. I'm like, well, good luck to you and your husband, ma'am. I mean, I hope it works. But hey, if I don't want him sticking that thing up in me, like, after the feet fungus itch. But
Oh,
anyway, so that was interesting. Obviously always accidents on 98. So I've seen a few of those, but that's
there's
neither
always
here.
an accident. We can't talk about
Always.
all the accidents. Man,
98
it's
is a
crazy.
cursed street. So my
They don't
my
call
week
it
was.
Bloody 98 for no reason,
I'm
man.
trying to tell you, my week was pretty standard, bro. How about yourself, man? I see you got. Y'all ain't peeped the new kid, baby. He got us
We
some new
did.
hats, Rev God.
We did get some new hats. I actually just went and picked them up today. So Between Thieves is yeah, got us some new hats.
Yes,
We're gonna
sir.
wear them on the show.
The apparel
The
brand coming
show.
through. I'm a little jealous of your camo hat, though, I must say.
Yeah, I don't know if people can see it. Let's see if
Yeah,
I can get it like close
up
to the
close.
camera. Can
Like
y'all
mine
see
is
the camo?
plain
It's like,
black,
yeah. I
and
just
he's
get a
got that
regular plain
camo.
one.
I'm a little jealous, a little
I
bit, a
kept
little
the good
bit.
one for myself.
Yeah, man,
I'm
that's real
selfish like
selfish of
that.
you, Tim.
Yeah,
Like,
it's real selfish.
what's the deal?
I mean, these things ain't cheap, bro.
I feel you.
but but yeah, man. Most my My week is basically always just business. Like I don't really do anything outside of work, really.
Man.
Watch TV. We watched Tuesday night. We watched the first movie in the Hobbit
Oh yeah. I
trilogy,
love me some Hobbit.
and then Wednesday night we watched the second movie.
Yeah. Lord of the Rings, where it's at,
Yeah,
baby.
and so we're gonna watch all six of them. I guess is the plan.
Yeah.
But we only watch them on Tuesdays and Wednesdays because that's when our other roommates off work. So yeah, we watched two of them so far, and we'll finish up the other ones, I guess, a couple weeks, and that'll be fun. But
Nice.
it's just work, man.
That's what's
Last
up.
week,
A
last
busy
week I
man or a
took
broke man, baby.
yeah, last week I took in the biggest order that I've ever taken in, which was really cool. And then this week I took in the biggest order that I've ever taken in.
That's
So
what's
I
up.
trumped the one from last week already, which was really
And
crazy.
you
So
already using Trump,
I
who we
used the
gonna
word
talk
Trump.
about tonight.
Oh my god. I didn't mean to do it. I didn't mean to do it.
That's what's up, though. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a blessing, man. God
It's
is
just
good.
because, gotta I just don't want to work that much.
Yeah, I
But
hear you. But you gotta do it, man.
I
Hey,
don't
work
want to
equals
work that
money.
much.
Work equals money.
But it is what it is.
That's what's up.
But yeah, man, that's pretty much my week, man. I spend my evenings just editing video for the podcast
Getting
and
us all
yeah.
situated. I
And
appreciate you, brother. I ain't gonna lie
and
to
then I
you.
work and that's it.
Because
So
between my two hellions shit, who knows when I
yeah,
have
you wouldn't be
time.
able to do it.
So
Oh,
I appreciate you.
speaking of that, not your hellions, but
They my
videos.
kids. I love them.
I didn't do a 10 minutes with Tim on Friday,
I know what was up with that.
and I didn't do. Normally we post a clip every morning from the previous week's show, and I didn't do that either. And it's just because I was just busy, man. Like I
Yeah.
just didn't have time
That's
to
what's up.
like
It's okay.
stop.
I
So
mean, they get the
if
live
you're
show.
watching and you really like those clips, I apologize.
It's okay. He get
You can
back to it
always
on
just
Monday.
go to the YouTube channel and watch one of the old clips if you want to.
He
You don't
got
have to
something for
wait on
you
the
on
new
Monday.
clip.
Oh yeah.
But
Definitely.
yeah,
So what we got lined up tonight? We got a special guest in the house.
very special guest, an old friend of mine from like 30 years now, 25 years maybe, something like that. We went to school together, we worked together, we partied together, we grew up together. His name's Chance. He's from a local, well, he's not from a local thing. He's part of a local group called the Bearded Villains, an international group, actually. He's just from the local chapter. Um, yeah, his name's Chance Stapleton, and we're going to pull him on the show right now. Turn your mic on. We're going to get him to turn his mic on. There we go.
Voila.
Voila. Chance, what's up?
Not much, guys. Thank you for having me tonight.
What
Yeah,
it
man.
do,
We're
baby?
stoked to have you on the show.
What's happening?
I got my mask on.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Appreciate you for being here. AEC masked up as well, showing that solidarity. We just want to protect the
we're
people.
good. Chance, speak into your mic for me.
Testing. Testing again.
Yeah, I think you're good now. You had to get a little closer.
All right.
Sweet,
You
sweet.
kind of got to eat these mics a little bit. Put your mouth on it.
No,
So welcome-
that's what the spit guard's for.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
yeah,
That's right.
exactly. So welcome to the holla at our people for a second. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Give us
Where
the
you from?
insight. Yeah, where you from? Give us the insight on the Bearded Villains, baby.
All right. So,
We don't have to get it.
where I'm from,
I'm taking my mask off, y'all.
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
We can
yeah.
unmask. We just want to show
Yo,
y'all
I'm
wear
about
your
to.
mask.
I'm
Wear
about
your
to.
mask.
I'm about to
We
start.
need some fresh air,
I'm
baby.
about to start breaking out. I'm
Wear your
sweating.
mask.
Sweating.
I can breathe better now.
Yeah, go and do your thing.
So I'm actually from Freeport. I grew up here in Freeport.
Free Porsche.
Yeah. Let's not make it too fancy now.
That's true. Yeah.
I've went to school here, all that good stuff. I moved away for a bit. California for a few years,
Oh,
Texas
nice.
for a few years, came on
Nice.
back. That's the way things go.
Travel is good for the soul.
It is, it really is. But as Tim will tell you, everybody that leaves this area comes back to it.
I did it.
That's what's up.
And here we are.
and today and age, I'm with a group called Bearded Villains. It's a pretty good brotherhood. I don't know if you guys want me to talk much about it.
Oh
now,
yeah,
or
man, give us some
Tell us
insight
about
on
the Bearded Villains. What is the Bearded
do,
Villains?
I mean, you got a nice beard here. I'm a little jealous.
I'm assuming you must have a beard to be part of the Bearded Villains, or is that not true?
That is absolutely true. You must have.
What
a
about
beard.
goatee? No.
There's actual standard on it. Okay.
Okay.
So it's it's a certain amount of centimeters. I can't remember what it is right now,
Uh-oh.
but think it comes out roughly to about like a 3-inch beard or something like
Okay.
that. You know,
I got you.
I'm out.
just stop shaving.
Yeah.
Just stop shaving.
Stretch mine.
Yours will
Just
get there.
kidding. I'm close.
But it's a really cool thing. So I guess the foundation of it is it's brotherhood, it's charity, loyalty, respect, honor, family, all that good stuff. That a lot
The
of us
core
really,
values.
yeah, that
Yeah.
people want in their lives, that people look for, and they try to find a way to share it with other people. And that's kind of what it is.
Yeah. So how did you get started, or when did you get started?
So I got started.
Did you find the bearded villains, or did the bearded villains find you?
It's funny, they found me.
Oh, nice.
So and let me tell you about that. So
Yeah,
I was
we'd love to hear.
I was working with my friend Chuck, and he had an even better beard than mine at the time. Mine was much longer than G now. Like I've trimmed it here and there, but he was telling me about it, and it was interesting. I was kind of into it. He was sponsored at the time of getting free beard products, and I was, ooh, hey,
Right,
I
for
think,
products.
yeah,
Yeah,
Italian.
truth.
this hat.
You got to pay for that. No, I'm just
There's no
playing.
there's no such thing as a free lunch.
We joking. You're a guest. You can have it.
but so that's what my initial interest was in it, and it wasn't, man. Within a couple weeks, I begin to see what it was on a grander scale.
Yep.
And that's how it found me. Is through him, and I've been with it ever. I mean, that was 2017, so.
Oh yeah, been around a while.
Yeah, it's the organization started in, I think, late 2014.
Okay.
So, yeah, about half the time it's been around, I've been with it.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things you guys are involved with? Like, I know before the show we talked about some of the charities that you guys do. You want to speak to that a little bit? In community work that you guys do.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so the charity work that we do. It's honestly any time that we can find a place to help out. Like there was a gentleman's ride that we did not too long. I guess a year or so ago. Uh, it stands out to me. So it was a gentleman's ride, motorcycle ride classics, and all that right there, and it was a really cool thing actually.
Yeah.
Like all the but the reality is like it raised a lot of money for pancreatic cancer or prostate cancer. I'm sorry, and I'm sorry. The cool thing about it is that we just helped put it on. It was already a thing going on.
Right.
We volunteered our time and our efforts to help, orchestrate, like do the different stops and all that kind of stuff, set it up. Just being a part of it, and we've done beach cleanups. We've done feed the homeless. In places where you're allowed to. Because like Fort Walton, for example, you can't feed the homeless out there though.
Yeah, they get mad at you for that. You have to have a
Mhm.
you have to have you can do it if you have like if a business location will let you, but you can't just like go to a park.
That seems
We
a little harsh.
ran into that.
I mean, for Walton,
me and
it's a
Derek ran
Christian-based
into that.
community, if I'm not mistaken. Like
me and
most of
Derek ran
America's
into
founded
that.
on Christian, and Jesus says, if you help one of them, you help me. I mean, it's kinda crazy.
help the least of these, right?
Yeah. So
But yeah,
that's cool deal, man. That you guys are involved in that, and we talked a little bit about the show. Especially in terms of getting jobs, like how difficult it could be to get certain type of jobs with the grooming standards of the corporate world. So I find it pretty unique and brave, to be honest with you, to you know be in your natural state. You know, and to be able to grow your beard out and to do things that you want to do, which is I'm not a big James Harden fan, but I watch basketball and
he
James
got a good
Harden's
beard.
got the
Yeah, he
James
might be
Harden
part of the
got
bearded
He
villains.
might
We
be a
don't
part
even
of
know.
we don't even know. So just that natural state, because again, like we discussed, like if you can do the job, what does it matter what you look like?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you're capable, like people should get over your appearance.
More and more companies are becoming more
job.
lenient on that, though.
Yeah.
Like when I first started working in corporate America, like we weren't allowed. The company I worked for, you weren't allowed to have any facial hair like on your chin, below your ears, or below your lip line right here. Right, you could have a mustache as long as it didn't drop below your
Right.
lip.
Yeah.
But you couldn't, and nothing below the bottom of your ear. But now they've since then, in recent years, they removed that rule, and you can actually have, as long as it's clean,
Right.
you can have facial hair now.
I mean, just think about the absurdity
now
of it.
you
Like,
probably still wouldn't be able to work for them given the length. They would probably say that it's unclean.
yeah.
But
So
But think about the
there's a thing
absurdity
that I
of
do
it.
with that though too.
what's the loophole?
mean,
Is there a
go
loophole?
ahead.
No, it's kind of just being, you know what, knowing your worth. So the last corporate
Right.
job I had,
Fair.
I trimmed it down quite, within their standards. Well, not quite. So it was supposed to be an
That's-
eighth of an inch, and like I did it down to like maybe an inch.
Right.
The reality is like you do the job, you do prove your worth. Nobody's gonna come
And
tell you
then
not
there,
to.
Right.
And
there
it's
you go.
literally like you come in on their terms, and then you
And then you
change
just
the
do
terms
your
to
thing.
yours.
Yeah.
And like they see their value. They know that.
Well,
You're
that's what I was
They're
gonna say.
not gonna
Because
pick a fight.
if you got a
that's
boy
gonna cost them.
genius that wants to come in,
You're a
looking
fucking
like
rebel,
whatever,
Chance.
it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gonna tell him, you do an outstanding job and you're number one in our company, but
Yeah.
we can't
You're
have
like
you
our-
because of your beard.
You're our
Yeah.
best
It's like, are you
salesman, but we've
crazy?
got to let you go.
Yeah, we
you
gotta
know?
let you go
Yeah.
because your appearance is just not worth it.
Yeah, it's weird.
Which is funny because I mean, I just read a story of a woman that was let go from her job in a county here in Florida because her manager told her she didn't fit what the office image he thought should look like. She
Well,
got
it's
a
like-
$150,000 settlement out of it, but the embarrassment of losing your
Right.
job
Yeah.
for being told that you don't fit what someone else thinks it's like you're a gold standard employee.
It's like people with
Yeah.
color their hair,
yeah,
and like
What does that
a
matter?
job
Yeah.
won't let you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like they won't hire you or whatever because your hair is colored, or dreadlocks.
yeah.
Is
And
a
it
big
goes
thing
back
in the community.
to
Like like it's
imagery
crazy.
put out there upon us.
Mhm.
And when you're watching TV or social media and these contexts that are put forth of these images shown of people with tattoos do this
Yeah.
type of thing. And it's like,
Tattoos
well,
are
damn,
bad.
half of our military service people have tattoos.
Right.
So are we supposed to shun them? You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
If you can,
Like,
if you can,
tattoos are so taboo, but everybody in the
Yeah.
military has a damn tattoo.
I'm pretty sure if you can
Everybody.
defend,
Like,
if you can defend the country with tattoos, I'm pretty sure you can work at the gas station with
Yeah,
tattoos.
like,
You know what I'm
what
saying?
type of
Not to
sense-
knock people
yeah.
that work at the gas station. I'm just saying, like, the skill set's a little
yeah,
different.
like,
you know?
what type of sense does
Without a
this
doubt.
make? Like, again, judge the book not by its cover, but by the content of its characters. So anyway,
Yeah.
no, it sounds like the Bearded Villains is a pretty cool organization. I
It's
mean, if
actually
you can
really
grow
cool.
a beard,
If you can grow a
You
beard.
know what? So I'm not gonna lie. The secret to growing a beard: stop shaving.
Stop shaving. Yeah.
Stop shaving.
There's not any
Yeah.
real rules. Yeah.
Um,
It's just
you
like
know-
don't cut the hair and it'll grow.
Yeah.
Right.
So we have people in our chapter like so they may be like facially hair challenged. I'll put it that way.
Yeah,
Like theirs doesn't get over 3
Yeah.
4
Like
inches long.
me, like,
that's
right
like
up in
it,
here, like
You
it
got like the
just-
Joe Dirt
Yeah,
thing going
like,
on.
it just
Embrace
won't-
that. Like, look, I got the Joe Dirt thing too, but,
But
you know
it
what?
grows
the
over
top
it.
hair will
Okay.
cover it
Saying just
eventually. Yeah.
Stop shaving.
Yeah.
That's
That's
you want to grow a beard, stop shaving.
You're right.
There's
That's exactly right.
You may have an awkward couple months where you just kind of
Yeah.
man.
Like your wife.
I need
your
to
wife
just
won't look
risk
at you
getting
for a little
fired
bit,
from
but,
my
like,
job.
Yeah. Don't risk getting fired from your
Yeah,
job.
no.
Right. That's a bad idea.
How far I got kids, man? These kids don't understand I couldn't, or I didn't want to do, or all they
Yeah.
understand is where my food
Where
at,
the
where my
food.
toys at.
Yeah.
Right?
I want to do this, and I'm like,
And your little man stay hungry too.
man,
That
Jack,
boy
I'm like,
stay hungry all
even
the time.
today, bro, like all day today, I fed them breakfast, I made them lunch, but all day they just want to snack.
How old are they?
So my son's 5, he'll be 6 in December. My daughter's 2, she'll be 3 in November.
Okay.
And they just all day. I come downstairs, so I'm on the computer a lot today. Like, I haven't been on the computer as much lately, but
Yeah.
and I'm shopping for stuff. Had to get a new laptop, new Fitbit, whatever. And I'm just looking up stuff, voter stuff, anything. And every time I go downstairs, they just on top of the cabinets. I'm like, what are y'all doing? Like, y'all been snacking since breakfast. Then I made y'all PB&J sandwiches with chips. As soon as y'all done eating, y'all right back in the cabinets. I'm like, what is going on? Like, we are not snacking the whole day away. Mom's gonna come home and be like, "What the hell is all the food?" She gonna be pissed at me because she gonna have to go back to the grocery store.
Right.
Like, y'all go outside.
Yeah.
Like,
You got to take the kids. You got to take them away
Get
from the
outta
house
here.
and take them to do something so they don't think about food. Right? Like,
Exactly,
you take them to the
bro.
park
Yeah.
or something. You know.
Because if they're in the house, they gonna eat.
Oh, but then we get to the park and they're like, I'm hungry.
Now I'm hungry.
thirsty."
Yeah. Something I thought about while you were explaining what you guys do with Bearded Villain. You talked about how you guys basically just like offer volunteerism to existing events, right? Basically,
Well,
right?
so far that's what our chapter has done.
Okay.
Now, there's other chapters that are a lot more gung ho
And
and
actually put
proactive.
together events
Yeah,
and organize and things. Okay.
yeah, and it really comes down to there isn't a standard.
Sure.
You
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
don't have to meet this or that
There
right
are no
there. There are
guidelines.
some chapters that don't do charity work. They do it as a brotherhood. They hang out.
They just hang
there's
out.
some
Yeah.
that they're down to party.
You
What
need
they
that
do.
brotherhood.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
for
what
sure.
that's
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
need. That's what I look
being
for.
a parent now, I come from an area. I was in music. I say was in. I still do music. I'm just not as active.
Don't
as
let
I
him lie
used
to you,
be.
y'all.
Look,
He
I
ain't,
said
he
it
ain't
is.
released no music in a minute.
I have it though.
He has been
Wait
recording
for
though.
it. But I just come from a culture of like hanging out with a bunch. I'm from Chicago. I hang out with a lot of people. There were always people at my house or I'm at somebody else's house. Like the socialism of it
Yeah.
was huge. So now being a
You
parent,
can't say socialism. That's a bad word.
I know it's a very bad word. It's finding other adults to hang out with and do stuff with is like trying, like it's like pulling teeth.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, we're cool, we're safe. We'll do the baby shark dance with you if you need. Like, let's just play some cards or something. So it's good to have that type of brotherhood and that type of club to be. And like you said, even if you're just meeting up to hang out and get some adult time.
Yeah.
Get some fresh air, some adult time. Let your kids go play together. So
That's what it is, and it's surrounding yourself with people that are like-minded who, when you look in a mirror and you see yourself and what you want to be, that's what I see out of these guys.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
you are who
and
you hang around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With
Find
no
some
doubt.
people like that you want to be like and hang around them.
Yeah.
Because they'll bleed off onto you essentially. Yeah.
That's
a
a
good
fact.
point. What I was gonna say though is like it's interesting that that's kind of the model that you guys have picked up in this area because there are a lot of charity events and things like that in the Panhandle Emerald Coast area, and they're always looking for volunteers.
Yep.
Right. So like it's neat that there's a group of guys out there that are just like, yeah, we'll help. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
you don't have to, like, you can get, like you said, there's 18, 20 guys in your chapter or whatever. You get, if 15, even 12 or so of those guys are available to help that weekend and they can jump on the thing.
Right,
Like, that's a
because
big help to a lot of
it
things,
is.
because out of those
It's
people,
cool.
somebody has something that they're passionate about or want to assist with, and now they can call on their brothers like, hey, I got somebody in my family that suffer from lupus. I want to do a lupus drive. Now he's got a brotherhood. He can call up and say, okay, let's get this done, or whatever cancer, whatever
Yeah.
it may be.
True.
Everybody has their own story to tell, and now you have a group of people that you can help, get out there what you want to put out there. So
Exactly.
that's a good thing. So man, that's a good deal.
Yeah.
Everybody should strive to be a part of something.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, otherwise, what are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing, man? Hey,
Yeah.
make the world a better place.
I got to find something to be part of, man. I ain't part of nothing.
Man,
Grow
10
that
fit,
beard out, man.
CrossFit.
Grow that beard
I
out.
got about
Great,
another
hey,
inch on
you
it,
a
and I'll
part
be
of.
good,
Hey,
bro.
I take exception. You a part of Great Skill
He said-
Podcast.
Ray said, "You're my friend."
Hey, exactly. We friends. We brothers. Like I'm in the same boat as you. Like
Right, we're the people we hang
the
out with,
realest
me and you.
people in the world have the least amount of friends.
That's actually a
'cause
legitimate.
people don't
yeah.
want to deal with realism. So you have to find other real
And people
friends.
that are like true to themselves
Yeah.
won't hang out with people who aren't.
Right.
Right? Like it goes
It's-
both
yeah,
ways,
it's-
right?
it's-
like
it's because it's a detriment because now you
Yeah.
get caught up in so many awkward situations. Like there's people we hung out with, like me and my wife, like we're open. All of our, my past has been laid on the table, hers. So like when you hang around people that have skeletons in their closet,
You can tell.
now it starts making an awkward
it looks
situation.
weird.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because when you're talking about stuff just freelance conversation, they're like, "Well, actually, shit, I'm still doing that."
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like
My
well,
wife
damn.
doesn't know.
So it's difficult. So people need to be true to themselves, man.
That's true.
So, in today's news, Trump wants to cancel TikTok.
Apparently. Yeah. And now on the Grayscale podcast, it's time for current events with Ray.
We got to dive into some of these current events.
Yeah, Chance brought something up before we started recording.
how do you even do that? Like, I'm sure
Yeah.
there's a way technologically,
Yeah.
like
I mean,
a
if
button
China
you
can do
can
it, we
mash
can do,
or
America
whatever,
can
right?
do it. But
That's
then,
true, because China is very specific about the apps that they
Right.
will
And I
allow into their country.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think the Philippines doesn't have YouTube, if I'm not
Right.
mistaken. One of those
So I guess
countries,
it is
Indonesia
possible
or
you block
Philippines.
IP
Yeah.
addresses or regions or whatever from
Yeah.
But then all you have to do is like trick your phone into thinking
Right.
you're in a different
Well, it's like with
area,
yeah,
FanDuel.
I mean,
Like,
and then you're good, right?
as
Like,
Americans, that's
well,
what we would do. Or if you root it or jailbreak your phone
right.
or whatever.
But
Yeah.
also, if you do that, like let's use TikTok as the example. If you trick your phone into thinking you're in China or whatever, right? Um, most likely the audience that you're going to be building then at that point are all people from China for the most part.
right.
So really what's even the point, right? Like
Right.
Mhm.
unless you have a product or a thing or whatever that you're going to try to sell to people in China, which you don't because they make all the products that you're going to try to sell anyway.
Yeah. No, for real. They be like, "Hate China, we gotta hate China," and then I open my kids' toys and it's like made in China, and I'm like, "We
well,
can't."
whatever, yeah. But like, I don't know, man. It's an interesting to have, I guess.
And it's like with FanDuel, like if like I do FanDuel,
Yeah.
and I know there's DraftKings other stuff, but like in Florida, I can bet on games on FanDuel. But if I go to Illinois or Tennessee, which I've been on vacation while I've had bets going, it won't let me log into my.
It won't even
FanDuel.
let you open it up.
Really?
It won't. It said, "Yeah, this is not available in this state," so I can't even open.
Really?
Yeah,
They shut off your location then, or do you have to have your location on for that?
That's actually
my
interesting.
location is on. I mean, the GPS of it is
Oh,
on.
okay,
So,
yeah.
because FanDuel gets your GPS location in order to participate,
Yeah.
so I cannot even check my
And they have to
scores
do
when I'm
that
in
to
Illinois
protect
or
themselves.
Tennessee
So
to do FanDuel. So it is very
that's
possible
actually
to
interesting.
curb what apps are played in your country state. Even
Sure, even down
like
to the
even
state.
even down to the state. Like I cross state
Hmm.
lines, it shows my GPS. FanDuel gets shut off. So now I'm like, did I win some money?
Yeah, you gotta wait till you get to
Yeah.
Kentucky to
Yeah,
check
I
your.
gotta wait till I get back home and like. So it's weird like that. So they
That's
can't
wild.
control it. So I mean, Trump does have a point. The whole he's gonna use an executive decision to stop it.
So
Executive
what's
order.
the big deal with TikTok?
Well,
like, why
TikTok
is
was
this
he's saying it's a Chinese
just
based
because
company.
it's Chinese based?
Well, not just because he's saying that because of the facial recognition that apps can do now, that China can get information from American people in order to use that information any way they so choose fit or see fit. And you got to think. I mean, you got to assume companies like Facebook are already in bed with China.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See, now that's what I was about
I
to
mean,
bring
all
up.
our industries are in bed with China. So
That's weird, man.
it's weird to me, like to think that okay, TikTok, just because it's a Chinese or China based company,
Yeah.
the other countries are American based or some other country based. But I guess because it's a Chinese based country, which goes back to our whole "we gotta hate China" speech, and it's like, really, all of this.
I don't
I'm
I
looking
don't know
around
that
and like,
Why?
everything's made in China.
I don't know this for sure, but I don't think TikTok originally was made in China. I think a
Probably
Chinese
not.
company
Bought
bought
it.
That's possible.
But I guess if they did that, then like if they moved all the servers and stuff to China, like just because the Chinese company owns it doesn't even necessarily mean that it's based in China. Like
Right.
it could still be based in San
Right.
Francisco or whatever, and like
Especially in
it's
this day and
holding
age,
its
anybody can
parent
buy it.
company
Do you
could
know how
just
much
be
land,
somebody in China.
the Chinese nationals own in America? It's
Oh, I'm
ridiculous.
sure it's
Man,
crazy. Yeah.
we all slaves to China, right? Hey, if China come back for their debt, they gonna be like, I need this American, this American.
Wow.
Like,
I was reading somewhere we're like $1 trillion in debt to them.
man, Jack is
That's a lot of
crazy.
believe it.
money. That's
Cheap
that's
labor.
take over a country money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
That's-
mean,
yeah.
it's for all this hate China talk, it's like, I respect our military. We neck and neck, but come on now, we can't be going out here trying to go to war with
Jeff
China.
Bezos don't even have $1 trillion.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Right.
These dudes, you seen some of them clips of
He
these
got a lot of
Chinese
money.
militaries? Like, our military some badass, but they some bad boys.
They
Mhm.
see
China
we got
ain't
guns,
slacking.
but they got guns and kung
And
fu.
suicide bombers.
And suicide bombers.
Hey,
Any country that has like its own like set of the suicide bombers.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
and when you
Like,
have
I
people
don't
that
know how
really,
many Americans gonna strap a bomb to themselves and
right?
be like, "This is for my country."
Don't
Run
get me
up
wrong,
in
I
the
love
bank.
America. I ain't putting no
I
bomb
ain't
on
putting no
myself for
bomb
it.
on
Yeah,
myself.
legit.
Hey,
I'm not doing that either.
hell no. So it's crazy. So I mean, we'll see what happens with that, but it's really interesting.
I ain't doing it.
I also find it interesting, which I was having a discussion with somebody about Trump coming out and saying, "Hey, if this virus is so serious, let's delay the election." You know, and look, some people probably gonna look at me like I'm fool because they like, "Oh, he sound like he agreeing with Trump." You got these, what they call it,
Donnie always agrees with Trump
all the time.
every day.
So no, what do they call it? What did Kanye call it? Group thinking, or what did he call it?
I know what you're trying to say.
Herd
Herd-
mentality,
herd
or herd
mentality,
thinking, where everybody
something like
wants you to just think the way they think, which we talked about last week, where there was a comment on Sean King's post. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Sean King, but he criticized Joe Biden, and some of the Democrats got on there and was like, "Sean, just get over it. Joe's the nominee, and you just need to fall in line." I'm like, what does that even mean? Like, he can't criticize the man, and when he says some dumb shit. So anyway,
Didn't they do that to Trump for several years?
I'm like,
anytime he said something,
well,
Dude,
because
every
Sean
time,
King's a
dude.
Democrat, they're like, just fall in line. I'm like,
Yeah.
fall in line and be a sheep? Like, what are you talking about? Like, you don't just fall in line. No, Joe, wake your ass up. If you say something dumb, we gonna check you on it.
Yeah.
So
Trump supporters check Trump
right
on stuff
yeah.
all because he
can't
says some
fall
real
in
dumb
line.
shit.
Yeah, like,
You know what I mean? But like when you do say something extremely stupid, like even the people supporting you got to be like,
whoa.
What
You know
was-
what I'm saying?
what was
Like-
that, bro?
Like, they coming out now, like, hey, wait, I might need to wear my mask,
Like, you
Trump.
really said that?
So he's talking about delaying the election. And I was talking to my wife about it, and I'm like, you know what? If you think about it, he kind of got a point. Like, because a lot of people are registering to vote. Because your vote, I've been a big part. I don't, I'm not a historical voter. I don't vote. I'm a felon. I need to go get that rescinded
Yeah,
so I can get my
absolutely.
voting rights back. But then I listened to my man Deezy podcast today, and a woman was talking about, if voting is not that important, then why disenfranchise 1.6 million people by taking away their right to vote because they're a felon? I'm like, you got a point. You know what I'm saying? So, but with the absentee ballot, and not like, here's the thing of what I told my wife. I'm like, you know what? It takes something to go standing in line for 4 hours to make sure your vote is cast. I'm like, God damn, I really don't want to go stand in line for 4 hours. But
I
I'm
ain't trying
like,
to stand in line at
I've
all.
You
never
understand?
stood in line
But
that long. I mean, it's been like 20, 30 minutes. Anytime.
okay, but some places it is. But I'm like,
Yeah.
if you think, if you look at it in that terms, it means that takes real dedication to really make your vote count and mean something.
Sure.
Although it shouldn't take that long, but some
Yeah.
counties are bigger than others.
True.
So that's a real process that you want to go down and make sure your vote was counted. And not to mention, I've had wrong mail delivered into my mailbox. So what if you never even get your ballot?
Mm-hmm. Well, what if somebody fills it out
I've
for
had my neighbor's mail
True.
dumped into my mailbox. I'm like, this ain't my mail. And I got to walk over to my neighbor's door, knock on their door, like, here's your mail. You know what I'm saying? So you start to run into a lot of issues. So I'm like, in that regard, you know what? Trump might have a point in terms of people needing to go out and actually cast their vote so they know
In
for
person, yeah.
sure my vote was counted. Because if you dropping the wrong mail off to my mailbox,
Yeah.
then what the hell you doing when you taking it back to the mailing place?
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
There's
So
too many ways for your vote to get lost,
I'm
essentially.
totally against
Or
what
like
he's
you
saying.
said, like if it gets put in your neighbor's mailbox and they fill it out for you and send it back, it's like,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
like who's really checking these ballots when they get back to where they're supposed to go?
Facts,
You know what
bro.
I mean?
And I
Like,
mean, how long is it going to take to find out the results? That
Right.
way too.
to
it would
get
be
it
way
back in.
longer, way
Way
longer.
longer than it would naturally occur.
This election's going to be weird
the weirdest.
either way.
The weirdest.
Whether they decide to postpone it somehow or whether it goes strictly mail in or
And
whatever.
I'm not saying this in, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Either way, it's going to be a weird election.
Yeah, and I'm
just
not saying this
because-
just in support of the Trump, because Trump's in it. I'm saying for any future elections if a pandemic breaks out. You know what I'm saying? The notion of
people gonna do all.
You can already do that,
but
but the way that works now is you have to request the
Right.
ballot be sent to you.
Right.
It doesn't just automatically get
Right.
mailed out to every registered
Right.
voter.
Right. And you can't even do it. And I thought about, well, what if we vote social media? Then I thought, well, we can't even do that because of how the amount of hacking
Yeah.
that goes on with social media.
I mean, well, just look for Facebook, for example, the way that they're able to false news something. They're basically able to hide content, or
Yeah.
I mean, what happens when they decide that they have an agenda or a nominee that they
Our
wanna push
country
for,
is
and they're
run
just
by
like, "You know what?
lobbyists.
These votes just didn't happen."
Yeah,
Yeah,
our country
that's
is
right.
run by lobbyists. I
It
mean,
really is.
you need
Or
to watch.
if you know that, you know, the county in Illinois predominantly votes Democrat,
Right.
you could just not send half the votes out to the
To the
houses
right.
in that
I mean,
county.
well,
You know what I mean? Like, you could literally rig the election in your favor.
Seriously.
Either side.
Seriously.
If they're whoever's in control
Seriously.
of sending out and receiving could easily rig the election.
Seriously.
If it
I
went
mean,
that route.
you really need to watch. I think it's
Look for
Alexandria Ocasio Cortez. AOC is what they call her.
Oh yeah.
I know people don't watch it, but she she fights for the everyday average American. I listened to I shared it on my Facebook today. I'm not talking color, creed, and none of that. I'm talking American citizen. And she whipping some of these boys up in these hearings. And just talking about, take the HIV drug, for example, she was talking about. In Australia, they charge them $8. Things that she's talking about, and I'm like, this is what we need, and this is the problem with our politicians right now. And she had this whole spiel on, if I wanted to be a bad guy, this is how I can do it. And she questioned each one of them, and it was like, yep, there's no really rules guarding you against that. And I'm like, this is nuts.
Oh, it's super simple to be evil in this world.
The examples that she gave, though, are legit scenarios that are happening.
Happening.
She basically just low key call people out,
that are happening right now.
It's real easy to be bad people.
And like I said, our country is run by lobbyists, big pharma. They got these PACs where they donate to the campaign, and then they're like, well, we gave you $5 million. We need you to pass this bill.
Yeah, people don't just give out money for free.
No.
Not very many, and not a lot of money.
And not saying that it's all bad all the time, but Tim made an interesting point on his 10 Minutes with Tim.
Oh,
when we were talking about the mask, and Tim said, why do we always go to the drugs?
Yeah.
Like, why is nobody telling us about natural remedies?
How about eating better, exercise?
Eating better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which they put out there, but it's like everything that we're seeing in the news right now is going to the drugs. We need a new drug. We need a drug for this. We need a drug for that. And it's
amazing what you can do with proper nutrition and some movement, though. You know what I mean? Like, it's really true.
I mean, and more power to everybody out there. Get your money, but and again, it's free will. It's your choice. People choose. Hey, I'm going to do this or eat this or do that.
Yeah.
But I think it's an obligation for our leaders to steer us in the right direction.
You guys remember when we were kids, we used to have the presidential fitness test in school?
Yeah.
They don't do that no more.
They don't.
Yeah,
Prayer out of school, presidential fitness test out of school.
That's true. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we used to have to you had to do jump rope. You had to run a certain amount.
Push up. Yep.
And they trained you for it.
Yeah.
Like there was
gym class was on it.
Yeah,
gym class
until you
was
get
on
that.
it.
Yeah, that's legit. I
damn near had a drill sergeant type female gym teacher that was like, we used to hate her. My boy J. Jerome Jackson could attest if he's watching. Like, she was brutal, like on the clock, like testing us. We gotta pass these tests.
That's right.
Right.
That's
But
funding.
no, for real.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
So I mean, you're right.
You gotta
Like
pass
we
the test
don't
to get
have
that money.
that, you know.
Mhm.
And people were up in arms when, you know, the Obamas were in office and Michelle came out with this healthy, you know, eating in school and things like that, to where schools now have to carry 0-calorie drinks,
Right.
and stuff like that. They were up in arms, but it's like
Yeah.
it starts with our children.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
It
saying?
really does.
Like,
I mean, because we're conditioning them. We're basically saying this is how you live your life, and if we don't stress the importance of eating healthy, being healthy, you know, exercise and taking care of your mind and your body, they're not going to just magically get it.
That's
when
right.
they,
No.
when they grow up.
You
it's
have to be
one,
taught.
and I can speak from experience with that, and I'm sure you can as well, Chance. Having kids. I know you said you got 4. I got 2. You're a brave soul. I ain't gonna lie to you. But like when I exercise at home, now my kids are like, I want to exercise. Like, and that my daughter got a little 2-pound weights, and she's you know what I'm saying? And you know, and don't get me wrong, we eat can't. You know, we got starved. We can't eat. We. But for the most part, it's a matter of showing them, and really, it's a matter of showing them to be active and to choose the right food. So we, you know, say, hey, you drank a cup of juice today. You had a couple juices today. You're drinking water.
Yeah.
You know, for every cup of juice you drink, you're drinking water. And it was really one of the reasons, like my children really motivated me to get on my grind for working out, because 2 years ago I stepped on the scale. Look, I'm short dude. You see me. 5'8". I was 205 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Which ain't crazy, but to be 5'8", like I was getting big.
You had a
you
little
know?
belly on you.
I had a little belly on me, so it doesn't spread out on me very well.
Yeah.
You know, my arms were like they are now, but I was expanding in my torso. And, you know, I'm looking at my boy and I'm like, I just don't want my kids to think that this is the pattern you need to. It was. They really like.
Maybe I need to have a kid, and that'll motivate me,
Tim.
bro.
You think you don't have time now?
Yeah,
Wait till
right,
You
yeah.
have a kid,
Wait
man.
till
You
you
ain't
have a
got
kid.
time. man.
But you have to make time. Like I have to make time. Like I have to get
I
up
actually
at
have plenty.
3 o'clock in the morning.
I fool around.
Like on work days, I ain't gonna bullshit. I have to get up at 3. My alarm set for 3. I have to get up before everybody in my house rises to work out. So now
Absolutely.
the rest of my day is, you know, work and for my family. Like I have to rise before them to get that training.
That's your you time. Like
Yeah.
the rest of the time, it's literally like your sleeping time as a parent is literally that's your you time. Sometimes you don't even get that. My kids they come up and lay with me.
Yeah,
Like,
I'd be in the bed
like,
with you.
Last night I had 3 of the 4 come to my bed with me. I got up and I went to couch.
Yeah,
There ain't no room left here.
Go
you
sleep
know?
in one of their beds.
And then and that was just kind of the situation with. But you're right. It's like
That's your you time.
You got to if you
have
don't
to
carve
make
out
it.
that time.
You have to make it.
It's not just there. That time's not just
It's
there.
not
You
there.
have to make it.
You have to make it. Because in the structure of the way we work, you know, we have to work. We gotta sleep. We gotta eat. In that structure, you say, okay, I got 8 hours to do work. I got 4 hours to do this. I got 6 hours sleep. So where am I gonna cut my time? You know where I cut my time? In sleep.
It's got to be sleep. There's no real
I
other
have to
place
cut
to
my
go.
sleep time.
But have you noticed though that the healthier you get, the better you eat, the less dependent you are on needing that large block of sleep.
You don't
Facts.
need, you don't need
I
8
promise
hours.
you, like
You don't need it.
my body starts getting up in the morning and it's like I'm much better.
Yeah.
I promise you. Like, and it was proven to me this week. I didn't work out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday before I went to work. And I was sluggish at the job. And then I worked out Thursday morning. I was a fucking robot.
It's awesome, isn't it?
You know what I'm saying? Like, I was a robot. Be like, I'm ready for everything. My mind was clear. The endorphins were already running. Like, it was all the proof that I needed to say, when you wake up in the morning, take care of yourself first.
Yep.
And everything else is downhill. It was the last clarification I needed to say, when you wake up, take care of you first.
Go straight to it. Yeah.
Take care of yourself. And everything else is, you don't have a problem taking care of other people. once you've already
Once you
taken
feel right, yeah.
what you feel like is important to yourself. Like to me, working out and being fit is important to myself, you know, for various reasons. But if you feel like being religious, because I'll read my Bible before I go, like do whatever you have to do for yourself when you first wake up, make that time, carve it out, and then taking care of other people is a breeze. Because you're like, should I think what I do for me today?
Yeah, like you basically like, and that's the thing is, if you don't take care of yourself, you have that looming over you all day long that I still haven't done this, I still haven't done that. And you're right.
That's right.
You knock that stuff out first thing, and you're like, nah, that's all I got is time to do these other things now.
Exactly.
And it's better for the mind. I feel like
it's better.
Yeah.
What the Navy SEAL man say? If you want to make the world a better place, start out by making your bed
every day.
Oh yeah,
and that way, no matter what goes wrong, you come home to a bed that's made.
Hey,
that's right.
And it had a lot of meaning behind it. Don't just start out making your bed. He meant start out doing shit for yourself.
That's one of my favorite motivational speeches. Man.
And then go from there. I promise you, it was the last testament I needed to say, wake up every morning and take care of you. And everybody else is a breeze. You know, I'm easier with my kids. I'm easier with my wife because it's not looming. Like you said, it's not looming over your head. So
yeah, it's that much stress you don't have to deal with.
Yeah, that's a fact. So
that's a fact.
What else we got on the docket in the news? I know we had some topics we want to talk about. Look, I wanted to bring this up. I don't want to dominate the topics. Go ahead, Chance.
Let's talk about that doctor.
Yeah.
Tim knows what I'm talking about already. I think you might as well.
I probably do.
Okay, so there's that large panel of doctors.
Okay, I didn't watch this all the way, but fill me in.
All right, well, I guess the gist of what I'm getting at is that there's a lot of highly accredited doctors on that panel. And everybody...
These are the people that were standing outside in the video, right?
Yeah, all in their white coats.
I need to watch
and basically they said, hey, HCQ, hydrochloroquine, or whatever it is, it's working. Like this lady gets up there and says, look, I've had 350 patients with the virus. We treated them with this. All 350 are better. Okay. And you got people coming and saying, oh, well, at the same time, this doctor, she, I don't know what her upbringing or anything is in regards, but she's also said things like, if you dream or think of demons and stuff like that right there, it will cause health problems and blah, blah, blah. People are just attacking her being like she's a kook, but numbers don't lie. Like you have 350 patients that you treated with this and they all got better. That's a 100% success rate.
That's right.
I don't care how kooky and crazy you may be. Numbers don't lie.
That's right. I agree.
Numbers do not. Men lie, women lie. Numbers don't lie. Yeah. Lil Wayne, baby.
Like you mentioned, like she ran the tests. She used the drug on the people. The people had success. Like it doesn't, like you said, it doesn't matter what she said before that. It doesn't matter what she says after that. Like if those are facts, they're facts, no matter what. It doesn't.
Yeah.
And one of the things I thought was funny was there was this post going around after that said something to the effect of, no real doctor is ever going to release like information via YouTube.
Oh yeah, you were talking about that.
And I was like, but why? But why not? Like
any real doctor that doesn't want to jeopardize what they do and they just want to fly under the radar and keep treating people and doing their thing is not going to go on YouTube. I feel like
right. I feel like there's a demonization of social media that gives you that that mentality of like, why would you trust something from YouTube or from Facebook or whatever, right? But like the way I explained it to somebody the other day was if I have information that's possibly going to save hundreds of thousands of lives, why wouldn't I release that information in the way that's going to get to those hundreds of thousands of people the fastest?
Exactly.
The fastest way to get information into the hands of the people is through social media.
They try to treat Eric Snowden like a kook.
It's not.
Because he went on social media and released that thing like, hey, they spying on us.
It's not publish a science in a science journal. It's not published in a science journal, wait for people to read it and give you peer reviews, and then release it to the public.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's going to take years.
Yeah.
Releasing
And
the
it-
information on YouTube takes seconds. And it goes around the world.
It's the Tower of Babel,
It goes
baby.
around the world in hours.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And everyone that needs that information
They can
has
see
it.
it. Yeah.
And
And they can decipher
and
how
then you
they
can decide
choose.
for
Free
yourself whether you want to take that drug.
Free
or not.
will.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
Like,
That's a fact. I mean, and I'm with you. Like, social media is not the problem. You know what I'm saying?
social media doesn't even exist.
Yeah.
It's not even a thing,
It's kind of like time.
right? Like, yeah, right. Like, Facebook doesn't make any content. We make the content.
We make the content. It's
They're
just
just
the platform.
they're just the editors.
Facebook isn't.
Yeah.
I mean,
Facebook isn't bad. Like, they
Yeah.
block some content. Sure.
Yeah.
Facebook isn't a bad thing. We're the bad thing.
Yeah.
We made the thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, it's literally it's
Speaking
a
of blocking-
manifestation
yeah.
of who we are.
right.
No, facts. Like,
It exposes
MySpace.
us.
It's,
You know what
It
I mean?
exposes us
all
hard.
these platforms are MySpace.
MySpace.
Can we talk-
Like,
I like MySpace.
I
You can create your own
MySpace
Facebook.
is
What do I
still
got
around.
with Facebook? Like
Yeah.
I can't change
MySpace
nothing
Yeah,
on
you can't change
there.
your background.
I can't make people
Yeah.
listen to music when they
You
visit
know
my
what I'm saying?
page.
You
Like,
come on like, oh, this dude listen to this, he cool.
Yeah. That's my
Like,
people
yeah,
right there.
MySpace is
That's exactly right.
That's where it was at.
it
Like,
was. I think it's still a thing too. Somewhere.
It's still
it
around.
is.
It actually speaking of music, it actually shifted to being a platform for musicians.
music,
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, like underground, like
It made a little comeback. I mean, obviously with all these other platforms, it kind of,
Yeah.
but when it
you gotta
came
stay ahead
out,
of the game if you want to be
I
relevant.
was
these
heavy
days.
on MySpace. Boy, let me tell you, I ain't gonna get into all
MySpace-
We don't need to go back to those days.
My
we know.
MySpace is still around. It's still got some old ass
Man,
pictures on it.
Jack.
I looked it up one day. I probably won't do it again.
Yeah. Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. It's not good. But there was a thing that I wanted to touch on. I don't want to dominate the topics. But I know we always, we're a podcast show where it's not always black and white. But
Sometimes
that,
it's
the
blue.
Austin shooting, I don't know if you guys seen. I know we talked about a chance, and it goes both ways. So anyway, I don't know if you looked it up. So
I heard about it, but I
South
don't know
Central-
much. Go ahead. Give me
Catch
the
yourself up.
South
Yeah.
Central Austin, Texas. Another police shooting.
Okay.
So Hispanic couple apparently was in the parking lot, and I listened to it. There was a call made that these people were in the parking lot smoking crack. And no, I mean, your choice of medication is your
True.
choice of
Heard.
medication.
Heard.
So I listened to the police call, and they called, said these people were smoking crack, and they were like, yeah, this guy has a gun and he's holding it up to the female passenger, and they're going back and forth with the dispatcher about was he holding it at her or was he pointing it at her in a threatening manner, and the caller's kind of going back and forth, like, well, he has it. He didn't point it at her, or he did point it at her, so you'd have to watch it. So anyway, police show up. They show this clip of them talking to each other in the body cam, talking about how they're going to go in and, gain control of the situation, mapping out their plan. So then it skips to them, which sometimes, look, before I continue, sometimes I see these videos, I'm like, man, is this Hollywood?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I know.
Like, is this shit staged
I'm
Yeah.
with you.
to
there.
make us feel some type of way?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because we've been on this show and I've explained that
I feel
I've
that
had
pretty heavy.
interactions with police that have been,
Yeah.
cordial.
Some good, some not.
You know
right?
what I'm saying? So
Same.
sometimes I look at this stuff and I'm like, because like we just talked about, like, is this shit staged?
Yes.
So anyway,
The conspiracy theorist in us says
that's
yes.
it gets me. So anyway, they pull up on the scene. They're in the little gold Prius or whatever, these suspects, and the cops pull up and they're, get out of the car, shouting their commands or whatnot. So the guy gets out of the car, he puts his hands up in the air, and he steps in, like the driver door is open, and he steps like in front of the driver door. So he's like towards the front of the car, his hands up. They got guns drawn on them because obviously they were called and told
Sure.
the gun was involved. So naturally, you're gonna, as an officer, you're gonna come up with your guns drawn. That's understandable. So they're talking to him. He's like, man, what the fuck is going on, hell? Like, take your guns down. I'm good. He's got his hands up in the air, but they still got their guns drawn on them. Female passengers still in the car doing whatever. They tell her to put her hands out, so everybody's got their hands out, but guns are still drawn. He hasn't brandished any weapon. So he starts to complain about, hey, put your guns down, man. I'm spooked. Now, I ain't never smoked crack before. But I have done some psychedelic drugs that'll make you a little paranoid. Right. Little shroom. So anyway, so he's like, man, y'all scared the fuck out of me. Like, right. Put your guns down. Like, what's going on? Because he probably having no idea that somebody just called the police on him. Sure. You understand? Because he's like, I'm just out here hitting the pipe.
Yeah, he's...
So I've been in this situation. I've literally been in this type of situation before, where I've been in the parking lot smoking some weed, and all of a sudden the cops show up, and I'm like, fuck they, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Where y'all come from? I wasn't doing neighborhood watch out here, B. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't even do nothing. I'm just out here smoking a peace pipe. So I've been in that situation where it like kind of throws you off, like, where the fuck did you come from? So their guns drawn on him, and he's freaked out. But he starts inching back towards the driver's seat. Now he's back on the other side of the driver's seat. Even though he's lifted up his shirt, he's turned around, no weapon brandished. And now he's back on the driver's seat. Now he's behind the driver's door. Okay. And now he's like, man, I'm fucking scared. Like, just take your guns off me. Like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, we just out getting hot. So anyway, an officer shoots a beanbag at him and hits him. And he gets hit like in the torso area, and he ducks back into the driver's seat. And then now at this point he's fucking they're like, this dude's gonna go. Yeah, he's feared. He's like, he don't know what's going on, so he takes off a little bit, and the other officer shoots him. Mind you, this officer was in another fatal shooting not too long ago, so he does have a fatal shooting on his record, but guns drawn. And my thing is, if you had that type of precision to shoot somebody in a moving car, why not just shoot the tires out? I'll say that before I finish. But anyway, he shoots and he kills this guy. The female passenger is unharmed. You know what I'm saying? So now that's in the news as another, cop shooting. Which, again, we had our Defund the Police show. We're not for getting rid of the police. We're for taking...
I would be for getting rid of that guy.
Yeah, getting rid of that.
It sounds to me,
I haven't seen to watch the video,
but it sounds to me
and
like
the woman was charged with nothing. So where's the weapon? They haven't came out and said she wasn't charged with anything.
There was no possession, no drugs.
They haven't charged her with anything.
It sounds to me like that cop shot a man unnecessarily.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I don't know. I wasn't there.
Instead of using the beanbag, is there any way he could have tased him? And then the dude wanted to.
Well, they were far away, and I'm not gonna promote any officer to run up on somebody that a call was made that a gun is present. Right. But what I'm saying is he had come out, so why not put the guns away and maybe try to approach this guy?
Sure, exactly.
Or tell him to get on the ground.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
When somebody tells you they're scared and you got weapons pointed at them and you can see their hands, the palm of their hands,
and they don't know why you're here.
At that moment in time, they are absolutely not a threat. They're telling you they're scared. Cool. De-escalate the situation.
De-escalate the situation.
And like you said about defunding police, no, I don't want to defund the police. No. Do I want to keep giving them military grade weapons and stuff like that? No. Would I like to take some of their budget and put it into like preemptive people, preventing crime instead of reacting to crime.
Drug rehabilitation, mental health.
I mean, absolutely.
Somebody that would actually know what to do in a situation with a person who is high on crack.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Encourage you guys to watch. I encourage you to watch the video. Like, don't just take my perception. Like, but this is what happened in the video. Yeah. And like, they killed this guy. Yeah. And it's to me, like you said, it's an unreasonable cause of death.
Yeah.
Like,
agreed.
Yeah.
People
absolutely.
get high. Valium gets you high. Prozac, all these drugs, like
sugar gets you high.
I mean,
I can't stop eating Twizzlers.
It's like the third time Twizzlers has come up on our show.
But no, it just brings up that point of everything that's going on in the media when people talk about these things. and where we say training needs to come into place. Because if you watch the video, I'm like, yeah, they might have been doing something wrong, but to shoot to kill somebody in that situation,
Yeah, that's wrong.
to me seems egregious. You know what I mean? Like, and I encourage people to just watch the video, South Central, Austin, Texas. And again, staged or not, it's an example of what we should not be having our police force do. You can get the tags, you can find people in this day and age of technology wherever they live at. You know?
And
when did it change from to protect and serve to enforce and punish?
Man,
come on,
B.
man.
Hey, we got. Hey, you say that clip. Hey, that's gonna be something we gotta share. Hey, that's a clip we gotta share throughout the week because that was a jewel.
Agreed. Like
that was a jewel.
That's 1,000% the problem. Like cops aren't out there now to protect people. They're out there to
enforce something,
to write tickets for money, and enforce. I mean, they're enforcers. They're enforcers.
Man, Jack, it's scary.
Yeah, they're military enforcers.
Yeah,
it's scary.
They. I mean, think about like the kind of like gear, like when they get sent these military vehicles and they're getting like the full sets of body armor. I mean, like,
SWAT trucks.
Man, like
tanks.
I've seen these guys better armored up than some guys that we send over
County
to
has
like
a
the sand pit.
We driving us off in the middle of the jungle when they ain't got this much.
Americans, we got
talking about some find your way home. Get back to base. You got out a knife and a Glock 9. Like, shit. Like,
it's
man,
wild, man.
It's crazy. So it's just those type of things need to be reformed, man. We need some. What's my man Andy Murberry? What's my man name from the TV show? Andy Griffin.
Andy Griffin.
We need some more of those. Yeah. Like, hey, you know, these officers out here getting outside and playing basketball with the kids. You know, like I said before on the show, man. My son said plenty of times, I want to grow up to be a police officer. I don't think there's nothing wrong with being a police officer, man. You know, like I said, I've had good run-ins. You know, I've been let go in times I should have been taken in.
Oh, I should have gone to prison for sure.
With you.
Yeah, let me tell you, I've had my share of run-ins, and some went well, and the ones that got escalated, I was the one that escalated.
Right.
So
Speaking of escalation, so and law enforcement / whatever, I want to bring up the fact that they have started removing the federal soldiers, quota. They're not soldiers, but the federal people from Portland.
Blackwater.
Yeah, Blackwater. Yeah,
I know they're not Blackwater anymore.
Right. They've started removing the federal agents or whatever from Portland area that have been there, supposedly trying to calm down the riots that are happening. Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But from what I've seen, and I've watched a lot of this stuff live, because there's people streaming it like all the time, basically, right?
Yeah.
These people show up to protest in the evening, right? Everything's cool and calm until these agents show up and come out they come out of their building and start gassing everybody.
Yeah. Beanbag shooting them.
That's when it escalates to an issue.
Yeah.
And then it's grown since the federal presence has been there. Originally, it was only like a couple hundred people. Now there's like 1,000 people there every night, it seems like. And that all started after these people showed up. And now that they've started removing themselves from because I guess Trump told them, like, just leave, like, whatever. I don't know exactly how many of them have left, if they've all left or only some of them. I think it's only some of them. But it's already started dying down since then. And it's only been like one day. It was like last night was the first night without like a major presence.
Mm-hmm.
And it's already started to de-escalate back down to like not crazy. Like, it's just wild to me. I'm not sure where I'm going with that. It's just really wild to me.
It's the presence for sure.
The presence is antagonizing.
Right.
Because people are like, we're here protesting. If there's no riots going on, what are you here for?
Now, here's the thing. I feel that on a deep level because, like, I have a problem with authority. Like,
well, me too.
I have to challenge it, okay? And
Welcome to the team, Chad.
Welcome to the high school podcast.
And you know what? If I'm out there, if I'm trying to like make my voice heard with other people, and now all of a sudden, like you put those people out there because you think I want to do something, you just encourage me to do it. You know what? Like you went ahead and prepared for this level of thing. I want to escalate it to this level.
That's
of
right.
Thing. You know what? You want to escalate things. You want to take the. Let's play that game. Let's do it.
Before they showed up, before the national presence showed up, there was some graffiti on the building and stuff like that. The building they're trying to protect. They're trying to protect this building from.
It's a federal
federal courthouse or something, right? But. I mean, a little graffiti on the side of the building can get scrubbed off. It's not that big of a deal. Some people have said they're trying to burn it down, and there have been some fires. I did see that. But they're also out there, like these people are out there for hours at a time. They have like kitchens set up and stuff. So like there's going to be fire. You know what I mean? Like that can very easily be like a fire from a kitchen and someone takes the shot from an angle that makes it look like they're trying to set the building on fire. You know what I mean? Like, first of all, that building's made of masonry for the most part. It's not just going to light on fire if you walk up there with a stick. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not just going to put a torch out there and catch that building on fire. It's not going to happen.
Those are steel doors, so that, I mean, it's
just not going to happen.
It's not jet fuel. Or
right. Yeah. We're not going to go there. We're not going to go there. Even if it popped up in my mind, too, but we're not going to go there.
Even if they threw gasoline on it. And lit it on fire. Like gasoline burns fast enough that it's probably not going to catch the building on fire. It would burn the gasoline off and then it'd be done. You know what I mean? Like they'd have to have a lot of something flammable is my point. Like so these guys were literally doing almost nothing until they were provoked.
Right.
And then the media spins it, some of the media spins it to make it sound like they're out there.
You seen what happened to the Definiac protest?
There was a guy that got interviewed that I saw, and he was like, man, we're just out here protesting, and then they started tear gassing us.
Exactly.
So we came back with face masks and gas masks and leaf blowers and stuff. So they started shooting rubber bullets at us. So we came back with flak jackets and vests and stuff on. They're the ones escalating the situation.
And it's sad to see and to hear about. Like, you know, we talk about China and we see the images of, and we don't know what's really going on in China, but when those people protested in China and we see those images of Chinese authority tear gassing their people, we're like, well, they wouldn't do that to us in America. And here we have a situation.
Or will they?
Think about it.
That happened.
The civil rights movement, what did they do then? It's the same thing. It's the same story.
Water hose, dogs.
It's literally the exact same thing.
People walking arm in arm. They're not riding nothing. It is, bro. And people walking arm in arm, and it's like, we need to.
The biggest difference this time is that there hasn't been a one man or one woman step up as the leader of the whole thing.
Right.
So no one's been assassinated yet.
Right.
Well, that's the thing is this movement doesn't rely on one individual.
That's right.
This is a nationwide unrest.
And think
it is. Everybody's feeling this.
Think about
the thing.
Maybe that's the evolution because they realized when we did promote seeing and they thought that would kill the message.
Right.
It never kills the message. How long Jesus been
We
dead?
are the message.
You know what I'm saying? How long Jesus been gone? And you cannot
Roughly
kill
2,000
the
years.
gospel. You cannot kill the gospel of Jesus. Like the message doesn't die with the messenger.
Right. That's true. As long as the messenger has spoken the message to someone.
This is the evolution of all mess. Like you're saying, it doesn't rely on a singular leader because we're all born to lead in our own fashion. You have to lead your family. You have to lead yours. I have to lead mine.
I got to take care of Wayne.
You know, Wayne got to assist us up there. You know what I'm saying? You got to rub them feet down.
No, we don't play that game here.
But go ahead.
I'm interested to see how long it takes now for the situation in Portland to completely de-escalate or go back down to like a couple hundred people.
Them stoners
back down to a small number, like a smaller number now that president has been moved.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And see if it was really that was the catalyst. then I was wrong.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but
do we say, hey, Trump, send back all those troops?
No.
So
we
we just let it escalate and let them burn it down.
They should not burn it down, first of all.
In my opinion, yeah.
I mean, they should not burn it down.
Should the federal government render aid to help rebuild that building in that area?
They
should it be
now, if you think about it,
no, they shouldn't.
If we go back to the Boston Tea Party, they did do a lot of throwing tea and destroying property that belonged to Great Britain. But the difference being is Great Britain was across the sea. We're here. So in terms of you're burning down the only place you have to live.
Yeah.
Now
you're not burning down
a
good that's taxed. You're
right.
There's
you know what I'm saying?
So,
well, yeah, there are plenty of places to live. But this is, Americans that were, we're all born here. We're all natural born citizens to this land, along with any native that was here.
Right.
America is the place that we call home. We're citizens to this land. So if we went to another country, we would be second-class citizens, so to speak.
I'm not even talking about going to another country, though. Like, and no one lives in that federal courthouse. If they did burn that federal courthouse,
oh yeah, okay.
But even if they burned down the whole neighborhood,
yeah,
right? If they burned down an apartment building, as long as no one was inside, whatever. Like, I'm not suggesting they should go out and burn it down.
They should,
but
not.
if they did, like, there's plenty of houses out there. There's plenty of places to live,
and they can be rebuilt. But always kill the mic, like, don't burn down your community.
We've still got plenty of land in this country that hasn't been developed yet.
Yeah.
If we just really had to,
Indeed. True indeed.
But at what point do you have to, quote unquote, burn it down? Like,
man,
not maybe even not necessarily like legitimately burn it down, but you know what I mean?
Understand
At what point do you have to tear the whole thing down and start over?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I think what we have the Declaration of Independence, and that is a promise of treason. What it says is, if our government ever gets out of control, we have made this declaration that we're going to be like, you know what? F this.
Yeah.
We're burning it down. We're starting over. And that's what we celebrate. That declaration is exactly what we celebrate. It's the promise of treason against a government that no longer has our best
interest. It is our duty to burn it down.
Yeah.
So at what point do we say, hey,
duty is a strong word. It is.
Right.
That is a powerful word.
And like you said, when's the time? Like, if there's this much unrest, right, in the country, are we ever going to be restful again?
No. And the reason I say that is because the same reason that we haven't started burning it down and start over is kind of what we just talked about a little while ago. We don't have a figurehead. Yes. So we all feel that, but until somebody says charge, go, like
grab the guns, let's make it happen.
You need a leader.
And that's the thing. It's like, because we all want to do it, but then we're all like, wait, is now the time? Do we wait? How much worse do we wait?
Who's planning?
It's not going to get better.
Yeah.
And before it gets worse, I can promise you that.
Oh no, it's definitely getting worse.
It's that divine being, like you said, that is looked at
especially
as that
now.
Divine being that says charge.
Yeah, it's somebody who everybody believes in. It's like, you know what, this is enough. I speak for everybody. We're doing this. Let's do it.
Which is, if you look at the FBI files and the files that they keep on those type of prominent leaders, whether it be JFK, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, whoever, they, J. Edgar Hoover said, in some of those writings, this is somebody that can mobilize the entirety of a group of people. And they eliminated those people.
Right, of course.
You understand me? Like, they eliminated the people that they felt like could really galvanize an entire nation of people. And they...
Yeah, well,
Cupid is the right sound to make too. That's probably the sound of the bullet. They have,
they have to. I mean, otherwise,
we wouldn't be in this situation now. It would have already happened. And that's reality. Is, you think about it, if we had a leader to I guess spearhead the taking back of America in that sense,
right?
It would have already happened.
Yeah.
Like if there was a leader the way that everybody felt in this country right now, this country would have already been dismantled.
This chick out here, I'm telling you, she might not be the one, but she might spawn somebody to have the courage that she has to talk to these people the way she's talking to these people in government.
Right.
And, it might click that button with somebody. She may not be the one, but I'm gonna pray for her too. But anyway,
somebody's going to do it eventually or there's going to just be more and more scenarios like what we're seeing in Portland, Seattle, Chicago,
which won't be good.
I mean, the longer we wait, I hate to say it, but the more advantage they have with taking this out.
Right.
Because they're already
stand up.
They already know how to
strategize.
They already know how to strategize and release biological warfare amongst the people. Man, we don't know how to do that yet.
No. Yeah, I mean, they've been doing it longer than we've been alive.
So should we make a call to action? Who wants to be, if you're watching the Grayscale podcast, the 5 people out there that watch this show or listen to this podcast, if you're watching,
we have more than 5,
and you want to be the guy or the lady that stands up and says, "I'm going to lead the charge," send me an email.
Do it. We got your back.
Somebody do it. I just want to see who it is.
I have too much of a past.
You know what?
Drag me through the mud.
There's ways to do it covertly. Like, there's ways to organize covertly, even using the internet or even using, the newspaper. Yeah. And things that, they used like coded newspaper clippings to organize things in the past.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Once you know the code, like you can get the message.
Yeah.
And then
riddle me this.
How do you share that code with the way that all of our communication is monitored?
Right.
So our emails, everything. It's NSA. Like Snowden proved, ain't nobody got privacy.
No, there's no such thing as privacy.
How do you set up the structure to talk about this without getting taken out before you can set it up?
And that's a good question.
Because honestly, that's the thing. It's like, how do we know that people haven't already been trying for years and years to do this, and they get taken out before they can get it started up because their communications are monitored for this kind of thing?
And I'll say, I'm glad you said that because it's very difficult, and I believe that's another thing with technology. It's a good thing to show things, but it's also, like you said, we're trying to take down things. Everything's so watched. And Farrakhan said something about Hitler that was taken out of context. But I will say it on this show.
We'll say whatever
because
we want on our show.
Yeah, because he said something about Hitler where he was like, for the Germans, Hitler was great. He brought them out of the ashes, and he said, I don't respect what he did for against the Jews or anything like that. I'm not condoning nothing of that manner. But he said, even though the powers that be of Europe and America knew what he was going to do, they still had a hard time.
They let him do it. Because they let him.
You understand what I'm saying? So even if
the
communication is decoded, they may still have a hard ass time defeating what the people want to do.
Well, that's what eventually is going to happen.
I think it's like 3% of the population is all it takes
to
overthrow a government.
Yeah.
That's roughly 3.5 million people.
That's right.
Man, we had a million man march in the 90s.
Yeah,
okay?
Right.
Like that's a third of the way there.
Yeah, man.
We were so close.
Yeah. It's a fact. So
we were almost there.
It's out there. We got a lot of work to do. The Grayscale is here trying to do our part. But we're
clicking on the end of the show here. We're about 18 minutes over the 9 o'clock hour.
We appreciate y'all joining us.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Tuning in. It's always love. We love y'all out there. Shout out to all our listeners, all our supporters. Much love.
Y'all don't forget to go to BetweenThievesApparel.com. Use the code Grayscale10, GRAYSCALE10 to get yourself 10% off all the apparel there. These hats will be on there tomorrow.
Like white diamonds,
maybe even
baby.
tonight. Shine bright like a diamond.
Hey.
Y'all like my singing voice?
Hey, I'm flexing with this. This on the beach tomorrow.
Between Thieves is our first sponsor. We really appreciate them. That's me, by the way. And a partner.
Don't tell people that.
Me and a friend. It's cool, though. It's cool. Nah, man, we're open about everything here.
Fact.
It's cool. BetweenThievesApparel.com, Grayscale 10, get you 10% off. And the Grayscale is going black.